I'm at the bad guy for embarrassing my work colleague by revealing they didn't pay their dinner bill. I work on a team with 9 other people. Someone was leaving, so we decided to go on a team night out to a local restaurant as a farewell. We finished eating and everything has been great and everyone is in good spirits. The bill comes and it's been split, which I know it's a trauma and the servers amongst you will be having a nervous twitch, but everyone has brought cash. And so, as we have done a dozen times before, the money dish and the receipt make its way around the table. People throw in enough for their meal, a few pounds towards the leaver's meal so they eat free, and a few pounds for a tip. The bill was around £220, and so far everyone had put in £30. So by the time it got to the last person, the pot was at £240. As of the 10th person, a woman in her late 20s who was new to the team and no one really know well, look at the amount on the receipt and see what was in pot. Turns to the waiter and laugh and say, mine's free, I guess, and hand him the pot without paying for her food or even so much as a tip for the waiter. Now in my mind, she should have put £30 in as well, and all she has done is made the waiter pay for her food out of his tips. So I called her out there and then. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something stupid like, since we are buying your dinner, I'm just glad you didn't order champagne. I tried to do it jokingly, but I clearly failed, and it came off pretty rude. She turned bright red and hardly left the restaurant, with the colleagues comforting her. Of those left behind, it was pretty evenly split between those telling me if they had seen her do that they would have said something as well, and those saying it was unnecessary. The pot had enough money in it. The bill was paid and the waiter still got a tip. There was no case for drama, no harm, no foul, etc. So I guess, as my colleagues were split, I'm hoping you can provide me with a definitive answer. So what do you think? I'm not the bad guy for asking my brother to pay my legal fees from his inheritance. 2 years ago, my grandfather died, and our father's sister aunt was the executor of our grandfather's estate. In our country, if your parent was meant to get a distribution of the estate but they have passed, it goes to their children. Well, my dad, also my brother's dad, had passed away, so we should legally be entitled to his share. Our aunt, executor, said that there was no estate. A few months after Grandpa passed away, I began to get suspicious as my aunt and her husband spent a lot of money on a new car, holidays, cruises, renovations, and etc. I decided to ask a lawyer if anything could be done. The lawyer offered to take on myself and my brother's case at no cost, just 30% of the amount if we won. If we changed our minds or dropped the case or misrepresented anything, we'll be liable for any costs of the lawyer. Asked my brother if he wanted to join and explain everything. Also told him I got in just before the statute of limitations ended, so this was his only chance. I did all the work, research, hiring a lawyer, finding information and the house sale, etc. He didn't think it was worth it to join. My brother was vehemently against it. He said I could do what I want, but he didn't care about the money and wanted nothing to do with my aunt, so he would stay out of it. I respected what he said and went in along, taking on the risk alone. If anything had gone wrong, I'll be paying alone. My brother will have no liability to pay. Well, I received a settlement offer yesterday, which seems fair. It also includes my brother. My lawyer refuses to negotiate this settlement because it includes my brother. He said my brother isn't his client, so he can negotiate. As it currently stands, I get significantly less than my brother, as 100% of the legal fees come from my portion. For example, I get $14,000 and he get $20,000 because I have to pay $6,000 legal fees. And I'm suggesting a distribution of $17,500 and $16,500 because I did literally everything and took the risk on loan. If I reject the settlement offer and either counter offer or let it go to trial, my brother is not guaranteed to be included anymore. Know that there is a real possibility of money on the table. He's completely flip-flopped and wants me to accept the offer which includes him. Because he isn't a client, it's the only way that he will be included. In my opinion, he had the chance to join when I literally offered to him a year ago, but he chose not to join because he didn't think it will go anywhere. I don't want him to get nothing, and I'm happy enough with the settlement offer. I just don't think it's fair for me to pay all the legal fees when without me, he will legally have no settlement at all. If he didn't flip-flop and had joined in the beginning, we could counter and negotiate more of what we are entitled to. My brother now says he really wants this money and is asking me to do anything to keep him included, so he wants me to accept it, as even countering it means he's out. I'm happy to do that for him, but it does mean I'm taking a loss. In the offer it says I'm entitled to 60% more, so I had planned to counter before my brother asked me to just accept, to basically insecure he's still involved. Is it fair since I did everything to accept my brother to pay slightly more legal fees than me? Again, without me having done this and settled the way I have agreed to, he will have zero and never be able to get anything because the statute of limitations has passed. And just to clarify, I'm accepting the settlement and splitting it with my brother. I'm not going to counter and have him drop, and no matter what, I never will allow him to be dropped because he changed his mind. My only question is, given I took the risk, the liability, I was responsible for legal fees if I failed. I did the work. He's asking for 1.5% more overall fare. I want my brother to success and be part of this. I don't want him to lose out on anything, but I would resent him if he did nothing, took no risk, had no stress, no research work or reliability, and then got more than me or even the same amount. I risked so much taking this battle on alone. He wants to join because it's succeeding, and it doesn't seem fair to get an equal share, having skip out on all the risk, but getting all the rewards. Yeah. Emma the bad guy for refusing to help my sister sweat bills and telling her that she isn't able to be a good owner. My sister Emma and her boyfriend Todd wanted to get a dog. Emma explained that she and Todd wanted a dog. She really wanted a pug, and asked for advice since I'm known as the animal expert in my family. I told Emma that purebred dogs tend to have a lot of health issues already, and pugs are notorious for being unhealthy. I told her that I would recommend adopting from a shelter because those dogs need a home, and mixed dogs tend to be much healthier as well. If her heart was absolutely set on pug, at least find a reliable breeder, because most purebred puppies get their dogs from puppy mills. Despite asking for it, Emma ended up ignoring all of my advice. She went and bought the pug Max from a puppy store because the nearest reputable breeder lived too far away. from where she and Todd were willing to drive. They didn't even get pet insurance at the time because they didn't think Max will need it, because Max was young and seems perfectly fine. Max is only 2 years old and already has a myriad of health issues. Max has dry eye and needs medicated eye drops multiple times a day. Worse, he has an allergy to the generic brand of eye drops. So Emma and Todd have to get a special version directly from the veterinarian, and Emma complains it's drained their savings. Max is also costing them a huge amount in utilities every month. Emma and I spend most of our lives in Scottsdale, where we live now. Days are in the high 80s for most of the year. Todd also grew up in a much hotter place, so they were okay with a just small fan before. But now they had to pay to install formal air condition because Max can't tolerate heat. Last month, Max swallowed the shower cup and had to have it surgically removed. The vets discovered a bunch of other health issues with Max, meaning their vet bills have skyrocketed even more. Ted told Emma he is no longer willing to help foot Max's bills because he would have been fine with a shelter dog, and because Emma insisted on getting a pup, she should be the only one footing the bills. Emma wanted me to help because Max is her baby and needs medical attention treatment every month. I told Emma no way. I have actually human children that I need to provide for, and they come first. Emma suggested that I ask my daughter if she will be okay with canceling her swim classes to be able to afford Max bills. I told Emma no, and that I'm not going to put that on my child's shoulders. This is where some family members and friends have called me a bad guy. I told Emma that she isn't able to be a good owner right now. Max is her baby, but being a good owner means being able to meet his medical needs, which Emma isn't able to do. It's hard, but if she truly cares about Max, then she knows it will be best if she puts him in the care of someone more capable. Now the people listening above said I'm a bad guy because Emma strained her savings for and loved Max, and I was out of line to say she isn't a good owner. So am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for not catering to my neighbor? I live with my girlfriend in a new built apartment complex. We have a 9-year-old dog that is very sweet and quiet dog, and it's getting up in age. Our downstairs neighbor's bathroom is right below our bedroom. We're connected by her ceiling and our floor. She came up to complain to us a couple months ago that there still weird vibrations come from our bedroom floor, her ceiling. That wakes her up at 5:30 a.m. She had been hearing it for a couple days, and it's getting frustrating. He understood because, it sucks getting woken up by some weird noise. The thing is, we didn't even know that noise she was hearing until one day I woke up around 5:30 and I heard it, but it sounded very faint and as if it was coming from our connected wall with another neighbor. I told her that it wasn't us and that I had heard it too. Just to be safe, we picked up another off the floor that could possibly be causing the sounds. The neighbor came to complain 3 more times about the sound even though we had nothing to do with it. She eventually made a noise complaint against us for the vibration sound. We went to go talk to management, and the manager essentially took our side and explained that she talked to our neighbor telling her that she lives in an apartment complex, especially a pet-friendly one. Noise will be made. The manager further explained that our neighbor said she will probably have to look for a different place if this sound things isn't resolved, to which the manager essentially shrugged her shoulders. About a week later, the neighbor comes banging on our door at 6:50 a.m. to tell us that our dog jumping on and off our bed is waking her up and it disturbs her. I want to mention that I have asked her if any other noise might bother her, and she said no. She went on to say we need to be more conscious on where our dog is in the apartment, and that she doesn't want to believe that we are doing this on purpose, otherwise she will have to report us to management. We already have our dog in the living room and don't let her in during the night. We start our day as early as 6:30 a.m. to get ready for the day, even on weekends. When we get ready, we let our dog come into our room to greet us, but we try to keep her quiet so she doesn't disturb the neighbor downstairs until quiet hours are over. Keeping in mind about the complaining made yesterday about our dog, we helped her up and down the bed this morning, and our neighbor banged on our bedroom floor, her ceiling. I want to state again that this is a pet-friendly apartment building. I will get if our dog was running around or barking, etc., but she just has been jumping on the bed. We pay to be here, and we don't want any problems with our neighbor. But we are thinking on just keeping our dog outside the room until late morning just so our neighbor doesn't think we're doing it on purpose. I do want to know if we're the bad guys, though, so we can coexist with our neighbor. So, am I the bad guy for not catering to my neighbor? Am I the bad guy for not allowing my dad to go to my grandmother's funeral? So, quick backstory. My parents divorced 10 years ago. It was a really messy divorce, with lots of court cases even after the divorce was settled. One court case was just last year, where the judge decided that my dad is not allowed to contact my mom in any way. You also have to know that my dad is a complete narcissist, and my mom was diagnosed as bipolar just a few years ago. It's been a road journey, but she's a lovely person despite her mental illness. In 2022, while in a depressive episode, my mom moved in with my grandma, her mother, which in retrospect was not a good idea. There was a lot of tension between her and my grandma, as my grandma is not know how to deal with my mom's mental illness. This caused a falling out, and then they haven't talked for about 6 months. In December 2022, I had to admit my grandpa to the hospital due to lung infection. She always had problems with her lungs due to being a smoker, and we know this situation is critical. So of course, I let my mom know about her health issues. After a few days in the hospital, my grandma was admitted to the ICU because her health declined massively. My mom visited her every day for a month. The doctor tried everything, but unfortunately, it was time to say goodbye. Mom and me held her hand as she took her last breath on February 3rd, 2023. It was heartbreaking, especially for my mom. On February 6th, I got a call from my dad asking me if he can come to the funeral. I said no, because I know that my mom will break down even more if she saw him there. Losing her own mother is hard enough. He was not happy with my answer and started screaming at me, saying that my mom has no right to be there because of the falling out and that she should stay home so he can go. I ended the call crying after he told me that I'm taking away his right to show his ex-mother-in-law his lost respects. I knew he only wanted to come to hear my mom. He has not spoken to me since, telling my whole family that I ruined our relationship because I put my crazy mom first. On a quick side note, February 7th was my birthday, and all I got for a text message saying, "Anyway, happy birthday. He refuses to speak to me unless I apologize for my bad behavior. So, I'm the bad guy for not letting him go to the funeral and standing by my decision.